What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here bringing you some more Series 9 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Once again, we are using Jose Cabre's team from the VR Circuit Spring Qualifier that made it all the way to the top 32. This team is really cool because it does have that nut core, which is something I haven't really had a chance to use before. It also does have Unaware Clefable with redirection, a very support-oriented Heatran, and finally a Tapu Fini, which I think provides some nice overall coverage. So looking at my opponent's team, it is Charizard with Torkoal, Grimmsnarl, a Regieleki, a Landorus, and Tapu Fini. So immediately, I really like Nihilego. I think Nihilego just does a ton of work onto my opponent's team, pretty much hitting everything for super effective. And then on top of that, I'm thinking Thundurus, because the big fear right now is the Regieleki, and the problem is we don't have... Regieleki is not even that terrifying. I'm going to go with Thundurus. I do like Tapu Fini in the back as well, and then Heatran's also a really good option. I think Heatran offers just a nice bit of support. I'm just trying to think real quick. Yeah, I think this is probably my strongest core options, and I think it'll really depend on what my opponent leads. Obviously, like I said, the fear is the Regieleki going for speed control and then trying to get some sort of big move onto Nihilego. But I'm hoping that having something out like the Thundurus will sort of deter that. So we're going to see Charizard Grimmsnarl, to me, is a very good option because of the fact that Nihilego and Thundurus are both faster than Charizard. So we can pretty safely max Rockfall and then Wild Charge? I'm gonna Wild Charge Charizard as well. They don't have a good switch in. I mean, they could switch in Landorus, but even then Landorus is going to take a lot, so interested to see what my opponent does. They could Lagging Tail. That's actually the really big fear, is if they are able to Lagging Tail onto my Nihilego to slow it down a lot. But even then, I don't think it's the end of the world. Okay, so we are going to see a max on Charizard. So I actually am guessing they might go for the Trick. Trick would be really... I couldn't see any other reason why they would max other than a max guard and then I guess a light screen. But even then, let's see. The max guard feels super obvious at this point. No max guard. Interesting. So they went for a fake out. We're going to do a sizable chunk onto the Charizard. Unfortunately, we do take some recoil, but this is going to let us get the Rockfall up, and that's a really good spot to be in because we have eliminated my opponent's max. We do have a max Nihilego with 2 turns left, and it's going to get a special attack boost, plus the special defense boost from, the Sandstorm. So my opponent... I mean, they do still have Torkoal, which can change the weather, so that's always something to be afraid of, but we did see Fake Out on Grimmsnarl, so they could still have Trick, but I think they most likely are dual screens with Spirit Break, which is a really good thing to see. I think, the position to... Oh, that's smart, because now your Landorus also is going to have that special defense boost, but I do think a max Rockfall... you could Light Screen. That's actually what I'm afraid of, is the Light Screen and a Quake, but Rockfall is still neutral, and we do have Lash Out onto the Landorus. So I think a combination of the fact that this is a +1 Thundurus and the fact that we have +1 Nihilego. Okay, so they did have Trick. We are going to see the Lagging Tail, which is fine because the Lagging Tail isn't going to affect us this turn. We are going to be able to get off some big damage with Lash Out. Lash Out's going to do not a ton of damage, but we should be able to pick up the KO with this Rockfall, right? Yeah, nice. And so even though we do have the Lagging Tail at this point, we are at +2. We still do have 1 turn of max, and I'm just trying to think, what what can my opponent realistically have in the back to deal with Nihilego? I think what Torkoal can reset the sun, but it can't deal that much damage onto me. Because even if they have Earth Power, we do have the special defense boost, and the game is just going to end. So we'll never know why Pure Love ended that way, but I mean, I think it was a good position. Nihilego just offered so much offensive pressure that my opponent couldn't really keep up, and I think the correct play would have been to trick turn one, just expecting, like, there was no reason for me not to max Nihilego, especially looking into a Charizard and a Grimmsnarl where I had easy super effective damage and could have guaranteed pretty much a KO. So good first game. Let's just keep rocking and rolling and move right to the next one. All right, game number 2, and we are looking at Venusaur, Porygon, Regieleki, Landorus with Urshifu and Torkoal. I do... What does Heatran have? This is hard. I do like Thundurus. The fear is, what if the Venusaur goes for a Sleep Powder? I could do Thundurus Clef. The fear, though, is Rock Slide. I think Thundurus Clef is probably my best bet. Maybe Urshifu? Urshifu doesn't really do much, but it does have the Sash. So I'm going to bring Urshifu, and then Heatran. I think Heatran's an okay option with the idea that we can switch it. I think we can switch it against Clefable pretty easily, right? Because with the expectation that if they're going to target into Clefable, it's either going to be Vine Lash, which isn't going to do much. It's going to be Ooze, which is going to do nothing. I mean, they could make the read and go for Max Quake, but I don't really see the point of doing that. Okay, so we're going to see Lando. We're going to see Lando with Thundurus. I mean, not Thundurus. Lando with Aleki, which is really good because of the fact that we are going to get the Defiant boost, and we can redirect a Rock Slide from the Landorus. So I feel pretty okay going for an Airstream into the Landorus and a Follow Me into Clefairy. They can't go for... I mean, what? They could double up into Clefairy, but I think a +1 Airstream should put us in a position where even if we don't knock out the Lando this turn, we can knock it out the next turn, and we will be faster. So, sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, just sending a message. Okay, so we're going to see a max, and it is, yep, it's going to be that Landorus, which is expected. Let's see how much a +1 max Airstream does. I think we should be in a good position with Clefable being able to Steel Spike. Obviously, if they go for an Electroweb... Oh, wow, they went for an Electroweb. So now we have Thundurus at +3 with neutral speed. And I'm pretty sure this will definitely... Or no, we have Thundurus at +3 with -1 speed, and we will be able to get back up to neutral. Clefable lives, which is actually a really big deal as well, because now we don't really have to worry too much about this Landorus the next turn. Unfortunately, they do manage to live, and I don't actually know if... Oh yeah, Clefable cannot unfortunately live another Electroweb. So this is tricky. I think we still go for it, and we could go for a Life Dew. Mm, yeah, I mean we have to hope for the Electroweb miss at this point. I think the smart play would be to Thunderbolt. But I mean, like, yeah, Thundurus took so much, even Assault Fested. So it's going to be really tricky to come back from that. But I mean, let's see. Let's see. We do still have Heatran, which is in a pretty good position. They are going to go for the Electroweb. Again, I mean, I think it makes sense. We do unfortunately get a crit onto Clefable, not that it matters. But yeah, I think like it's just they're going to be able to pick up the KO really easily with this Rockfall. And now, yeah, I'm actually shocked that a +3, what's it called? +3 max Airstream did not KO. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't speak this. Yeah, because now we do have Urshifu and we do have Heatran. I don't think that Urshifu picks up the knockout onto Landorus from this range. I don't think Wicked Blow. I don't think Sucker Punch picks it up. What, we could Electroweb. It depends on where are you going to attack with Landorus. I think we do it this way. Is there a more optimal play? We're going to see the Electroweb. It is going to double connect, which is unfortunate. Urshifu, yeah. And now, what? You probably max Quake into the Urshifu? Because I don't know if... Oh, Airstream, even smarter. You're going to... Yep, into Urshifu. Because I don't know if Sucker Punch would have knocked out. And I think that was probably a really big gamble. But similarly, if they had missed with... what's it called? Electroweb, I think we would have been fine. And yeah, that pretty much is going to seal the deal. The fact that we didn't pick up a knockout. I think we definitely should have gone for the Sucker Punch. Because yeah, with the Heat Wave, it would have picked up the knockout. But at this point, let's go for a Protect. I mean, yeah, if you have Superpower on Landorus, you're fine. Because you can't really afford to go for the Earthquake, but yep, you're going to go for an Electroweb. I feel like the Aleki might be Scarfed. Yeah, they have Superpower. There's no real way that we can beat Regieleki beat Landorus at this point. We can... Yeah, we should have Sucker Punched onto Landorus instead of going for Wicked Blow. Because that way we would have been able to finish off with the Heat Wave, and then granted it still would have been 3v1 with one of them being the Heatran, but yeah, it really depends. But that was tricky. I'm trying to think how to handle the Aleki. I think the fact that we weren't able to pick up, not picking up that knockout at +3 really hurt, and the fact that they didn't miss a single Electroweb also really hurt. I guess I could have gone with... No, Feeny wouldn't have mattered because of the fact that Feeny would just get knocked out by by Aleki. But yeah, I mean, that's fine. There are obviously going to be counters to all teams, and knowing that Landorus can give this team some trouble is a really big thing. Landorus Aleki, where it's just like, oh, you can... figuring out how to play around that I think will be important. But yeah, let's just keep pushing and move to the next game. All right, game number 3. Speaking of Landorus Aleki, it is Regieleki Whimsicott with Urshifu, Rotom Wash, a Landorus, and the Glastrier. So yeah, I don't like Clef. I still really like Thundurus as a lead. I could do Thundurus or Shifu. No, yeah, Aleki having speed control makes it so so hard. I do think Thunderous... do I want to lead Thunderous? I could lead Nihilego. Does that even do anything? Feeny. I'm going to try Thunderous Feeny. And then... what? Urshifu. And... Heatran doesn't really do much. It does deal with Glastrier, but Nihilego also doesn't really do that much. I guess we go with Clefable, and the hope is what? Feeny is able to get a hit off onto Landorus, because what if they go for an Electroweb, we do get the boost onto Thunderous. So we can Airstream and then go for an Icy Wind. So yeah, we would need Feeny to live a hit if they go with this same lead. We're going to see Regieleki Whimsicott. Okay, that is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Because now what? I'm going to... I'm going to swap out into Clefable and go for an Icy Wind. I'm going to make the hard read that Clefable is... or not Clefable, that Whimsicott is Trick. So I'm going to expect you to Trick onto... oh, no. Well... this is... I mean, what? This is okay... because they can only single target, and I'm hoping they target into Feeny. We're gonna see Tailwind. If they target into Feeny, we do have redirection with... yep, okay. So we do sacrifice Feeny. Yeah, I think what? We can now use Clefable's redirection. Oh, I wish I brought Heatran. I really wish I brought Heatran right now. I could have gone for a Max Quake. We do see the Life Orb. Probably Urshifu. Yeah, I mean, I feel like my best bet is going to be Wicked Blow and then Sucker Punch. So we can go for a Follow Me right here, and we can Wicked Blow the Regieleki. Which, yeah, I mean, it lets them go for a Moonblast with Whimsicott. Oh, no, because they cannot, well, unless they one-shot Aleki, or one-shot Clefable with Aleki, which is possible, 202 down to 0. Yeah, and now they're going to be able to, unfortunately, go for a Moonblast into the Urshifu slot. Let's see how much it does, probably down to the Sash. Yep, we're going to go down to Sash at this point. Let's see how much Wicked Blow does. Nice, they do get the special attack drop. And then... yeah, that's not going to do nearly enough. But... yeah, I don't... we can Sucker Punch and then hope that... because I don't even think... I think what? We have to max Darkness and Sucker Punch. And then what? We lose Urshifu to Whimsicott and then just get wrecked by whatever they have in the back. Yeah, this is... Aleki is just such a difficult matchup for this team because you don't... like, even the redirection with Clefable isn't really enough, as we saw. The Sucker Punch going to do just a little bit, not going to matter in the long run. Lightning onto Thunderous, which is not going to take us out. There's a little bit of hope. We are going to still go down to the Moonblast from this Whimsicott, and Whimsicott, yeah, can finish off my, what's it called? Thunderous the next turn. I guess what we could have done is we could have we should have protected. Yeah, we could have actually protected the Urshifu, expecting the Aleki to hit into Thunderous, and then we could have no, because I mean it would have split the Whimsicott's damage the subsequent turn. Yeah, I think my big mistake was making the oh yeah, and here's Urshifu. Urshifu just goes for a Sucker Punch, and that's game. And even if it doesn't, like, it doesn't even need to, it just goes for a Wicked Blow. I think the read that Whimsicott had the eject button, because I was like, oh, they're gonna eject button and then use Aleki's natural speed to get me to switch out. And so switching out against that put me at a really big disadvantage, because then I could have gone for an attack onto Regieleki to get some big damage there. So let's see, does my opponent have their team? They don't have their team available, but I do think that going for just damage turn one would have actually been a much better play. But I mean, Regieleki is such a big threat for a reason, and all three of those battles have been pretty quick. Let's play one more. So yeah, let's just hop right into the next one and hope that there is no Regieleki. All right, well, that didn't work out. Game number 4, and we are looking at Urshifu, Clefairy with Regieleki, a Ice Horse, Glastrier, a Spectrier, and Rillaboom. So I actually think Clefable Heatran, because then I get the redirection. I'm not worried about Urshifu. Regieleki, yes, but I get to retaliate with a big Max Quake. Looking at even, Glastrier, I think Heatran Clefable is the best option here, because I feel like no matter what their lead is, we do have a good response. Thundurus is tempting. I think Thundurus is really hard, just due to the fact that we don't get the max Airstream. But that only really matters for 2 things. I think I do want an Urshifu as well. Maybe Tapu Fini? Nihilego doesn't really do much. I'm gonna go with Thundurus. I think Heatran is going to be a really good option. Obviously, I think the fear is if they lead Clefairy with Regieleki, and then it just becomes a game of us redirecting attacks. But even then, that's not necessarily... Okay, so it is going to be Spectrier Clefairy. So this is actually an okay position. We do have redirection with... So what I'm thinking is actually Follow Me Taunt, with the hope that... Yeah, so okay, so no one is going for... Oh, they're going for a Snarl. Smart. They're gonna... Oh, they're gonna Nasty Plot, which is fine. Okay, so that's actually really good for us, because Clefable is not going to worry about their special defense boost, and we're taking away their ability to redirect. So now I actually feel really comfortable. Actually, do I want Max Flare? I kind of want Max Flare. Right? Yeah, I'm going to go with Max Flare over Max Quake, with the idea that I want Stab. Okay, so we're going to see Urshifu, which I think... Oh, it's Water Urshifu. So that's not necessarily the best for Heatran, but it's also not necessarily the worst. And I think the fact that... I'm hoping that because of the fact that we have Unaware, we can live a hit from Spectrier. We do have a lot of special defense and HP investment, which I actually thought we didn't. So, I think being able to live a hit would be ideal. What would actually be more ideal is if we can live with over half, so that way we can guarantee that the subsequent turn we can also go for another redirection to stop the Urshifu from getting a knockout. So let's see. They are going to... We're going to get the Follow Me off. I expect... Oh, probably a Max Quake, right? Yeah, we're going to get Max Quaked onto Clefable. It's going to do 202 down to 110. Okay, so that's great. Like I said, we are going to be able to get some more redirection. The obvious issue being the fact that they are also getting a special defense boost. So we do connect with this big Max Flare. It's not going to do that much, but they are Life Orb. And we do change the weather to make it harder for the Urshifu. So I think, once again, we do go for Follow Me and... Wait, we have Urshifu in the back. Why do I actually care about Spectrier that much? I'm going to instead Moonblast Urshifu and Max Guard Heatran, right? Because you're probably going to Quake into me. Yeah, I'm going to expect the double up onto Heatran, so I just want to get some damage onto Urshifu. Oh, smart. So you're going to Phantasm into Clefable. That is going to pick up the knockout. But I think because now my defense has fallen and you can close combat. But what? We do have Urshifu of our own to deal with their Spectrier. So we can bring out Urshifu. The problem is that we did not break Sash on theirs. But Sucker Punch... They could Max Guard in close combat. The question is... I mean, even if they do that, we are... Max Quake? Let's Max Quake their Urshifu. We do have Thundurus, so we do outspeed. I think Max Guard is obviously the right play, but I mean, what? You try to Max Guard twice? They can't protect, or we can't protect because of Urshifu. They're not going to... Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. That really was not supposed to happen. That's really bad. Okay, so. They are going to get a close combat off onto our... Oh, God, and they live with the Life Orb. That's so bad. They're going to Surging Strike into our Urshifu. Okay, that's... Yeah, because that's so tricky, because now... What, they... God, why? Please do more damage. They get another hit off, which I'm assuming is going to be a Hyper Beam into Thundurus, because there's honestly really no reason not to. Yeah, we know that one more hit will take down the Spectrier. We know that they have Clefairy in the back, which isn't the most offensive. And what? Their Urshifu's almost dead. There is... I think we Wild Charge here and Earth Power the Spectrier. Yeah, the Spectrier has to attack into Thundurus. Thundurus is going to take 150. That was not supposed to... Okay. This is... Oh, because it's at +1. Yeah, so that means you can easily just... wrap things up with close combat onto the Heatran at -1. Yeah, that live with Urshifu is definitely really, really difficult. I'm just... What? I should have let Urshifu... I should have actually redirected. So what I should have done is I should have redirected and swapped out Heatran into Urshifu, so I could have Wicked Blowed, and then I could have gone the subsequent turn, and then yeah, because I would have had the Sash, and that would have gotten rid of their Spectrair and put me in a really, I guess, a much better position. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was also a really short battle. So let's keep pushing, and we definitely have time for one more. And yeah, I'll see all of you in the next one. All right, hopefully last battle of the day, and it is a Clefairy Shuckle team, or not a Clefairy, Chansey Shuckle. So it is Chansey, Charizard, Shuckle, Hat, Indeedee, and Liepard. So this team is very, very heavy on Trick Rooms. So what? Nihilego is tempting. I do really like Urshifu. I think Urshifu is going to play a really big role in doing this. I do expect Charizard really just to be there for damage. We could do Urshifu Nihilego with the idea, like, let's just put a ton of offensive pressure. It gives us a way to respond to, what's it called? To Hatterene. And then we could do Tapu Fini Heatran. Because what I'm thinking is Tapu Fini has Nature's Madness and Heatran has Taunt. Do we want to lead Urshifu? I'm tempted actually. Yeah, let's actually lead with Heatran and Nihilego with the idea that we can start setting up taunts right away. Because if we can taunt Chansey or Shuckle to reduce the boost, that's a really good spot to be in. And if we have the fact that we have Meteor Beam with Nihilego means that we can try and get our special attack up to a point where we can deal some damage. We are going to see Charizard Indeedee. So what? We can taunt into Indeedee and max guard. I could substitute. I'm kind of tempted. If they... I don't want... I'm going to... Do I want to sub? Because what? If the idea of sub is to punish a switch and then taunt onto Indeedee expecting the follow me. Okay, so they are going to max Charizard. The question then being, do you have Scorching Sands? I guess my fear of committing to my max too early is the fact that, what is it called? Committing too early means that I lose my 100% accuracy and my ability to control what stats I boost versus the Clefairy Shuckle. But if we're seeing this as the lead, I expect it to be them trying to just get a Wildfire up to get residual and then stall out the game. We are going to see an Airstream. Interesting. An Airstream into Nihilego, which I don't know if that'll even pick up. Yeah, you're not going to... Oh, I was going to say, you're not even going to break the sub. You do break the sub, which... a little scary. I don't necessarily know what to expect. We do get the taunt off into the Indeedee to prevent any sort of redirect in the future. This is so scary. I'm going to go for the Rockfall, and I'm going to go for... Do I have a switch in? I could bring out Tapu Fini. This is risky. I think Nihilego goes a little bit low, and given the fact that Airstream broke the substitute, it is a little bit like unsettling. We are going to see Chansey, which is to be expected. So I'm guessing they're actually going to want to target into Heatran, given the fact that they are bringing out Chansey like this. But the thing is, like, if we pick up the knockout with Nihilego and survive, I think we're in a really good spot because of the fact that we can then get the special attack boost. We will have the knockout onto Shuckle or onto what's it called? onto Indeedee, and then we can try and just save our HP. They do have Max Quake. I need Nihilego to live this to... Okay, that is more than 0. That's all I care about. They are going to unfortunately get a boost onto the Chansey, which is a little bit scary. But... Oh, we have Taunt on Tapu Fini. Hooray. Okay, so... That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, so that is bad. This is tricky. We know that they're going to go for a Quake. We don't have anything that flies. I think we max guard and taunt into the Chansey. Right? Because you're most likely going to hit into me with another Max Quake to try and boost. Oh, very good read. Wildfire into Tapu Fini, which we do get the taunt off onto Chansey, so we can hopefully pick up. Okay, so we're stopping the minimize, which is great. Yeah, it's just tricky that we're gonna. Nihilego is gonna live a turn. Yeah, but Tapu Fini is losing so much HP, just as a combination of the Wildfire and the Sandstorm, and the fact that we don't have a berry. But Charizard only has probably 1 turn left. I think we have to go for a Rockfall onto the Chansey and go for a Nature's Madness. And then what? We have Heatran and Inner... Oh, and we have our Shifu in the back. Okay, so you're going to Scorching Sands onto Nihilego. I think that that's fine. This does mean we do have to take a Seismic Toss from the Chansey. We do connect Nature's Madness. Nature's Madness is going to do a sizable chunk onto Chansey. The main issue, though, is... The main issue is the fact that this Charizard has a speed boost and is not going to go down to the Sandstorm this turn. Do we sacrifice? I mean, we can bring out... We bring out Heatran. We protect. Because, yeah, we have guaranteed double taunt. So we can protect the Heatran, knowing that the Charizard will go down regardless, and then go for another Nature's Madness onto the Chansey. And then what? We know that they have Shuckle. So this endgame actually isn't terrible, because of the fact that Urshifu can just do so much damage into Chansey. The fear, though, is Indeedee coming out and letting Chansey get 1 minimize off. Because this is... Okay, so they're going to switch out Charizard. So that's actually great, because now we are significantly lowering the health of Chansey and hoping to get to the point where a Heat Wave with the Sand residual will take it out, because now the Nature's Madness is putting that Chansey at super, super low. We are gonna... Oh, they're not... Okay, so they're not gonna Seismic Toss, get any damage that way. We don't take any residual from the... what's it called? From the weather. We know that... Yeah, Okay, so we have our Shifu in the back. The main issue is the fact that Charizard... Yeah, Charizard outspeeds. Oh, Taunt wears off this turn. Okay, so that's really bad. I am going to Taunt the Chansey and Wicked Blow the Indeedee. Because what I'm thinking is, if we get the knockout onto Indeedee... Sorry, I'm touching something. If we knock out the Indeedee, we will be able to taunt the Chansey. Oh, what? Okay, so they have a berry. We do get the crit. Oh god, if this recovers, that's so bad. Which, unfortunately, yep, they are going to get the critical hit, or they are going to be able to survive. So they're going to be able to get off the soft boiled. But it isn't. I don't think it's necessarily over. We still have the option of they don't have any. They don't have any minimizes. So, God, there's yeah. That's the last turn of Wildfire. We can now taunt the Chansey and close combat the Chansey. The issue is that one of these two is going to have to solo the endgame. I don't actually know why I taunted the Chansey. I don't think that that was necessary because of the fact that we do expect to pick up the knockout. We know that Indeedee only should have... Okay, so we unfortunately are going to waste... Yeah, the taunt was a mistake, which honestly might cost me. They could have Mystical Fire, so that's actually the fear. Yeah, that taunt was a mistake. Mystical Fire. And Urshifu is going to live. So this is actually really good because Charizard is not affected by terrain. Oh, yes, Charizard is not affected by terrain. So that is there's a Liepard. I don't know what Liepard wants to do. I'm going to Earth Power you and protect Urshifu? Do I taunt the Liepard? Liepard has what? Copycat? No, I could Heat Wave. I'm going to Heat Wave and protect Urshifu. Because my thought process is Urshifu is how I beat Charizard. Because I can keep going for a Sucker Punch. Okay, so they have Play Rough, which is really good to know. And I'm pretty sure Liepard outspeeds. Okay, we pick up the knockout. We pick up the knockout onto, what's it called? The Indeedee. So they're forced to bring out Charizard. Why is Charizard at like 2 HP? And then we can... I think we Earth Power here and go for the Sucker Punch onto Charizard. Let's see. I mean, the Protect from Charizard is super obvious, but if they don't have it, I think... Yeah, because we know the Charizard has Scorching Sands. The Sucker Punch, yep, is going to be able to connect, and then this Earth Power from Heatran should be able to finish off the Liepard. So that was a scary game for sure. I think the fact that I played a little bit poorly with my max made it a lot harder, and I think the fact that my opponent also didn't bring Shuckle really helped me out, because I don't actually know if they had gotten set up what I would have done, especially losing Nihilego that early. I think I should have just played very aggressively with Nihilego, but the sub was a bad call. It should have been Protect. It should have been Max Guard to taunt the Indeedee, and then the subsequent turn go for a Rockfall onto Charizard, because that would have stopped all of the residual Wildfire damage and let me be in a much better spot, because I would have had a very healthy and bulky Nihilego for the endgame. But yeah, glad we didn't run into my favorite Regieleki in this last battle. But yeah, I think this team has been really cool. I think there are just things about it that I don't know super well, which is why certain matchups that I think could have been better were really difficult. But I think the plan going forward is the team that I featured yesterday for my best of 3 to do some games with that, and then hopefully there are some other teams that I've been working on to try and get those battle ready. But yeah, until the next video, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.